Hi there. So here it is, new to me. A Brother KH930 electronic knitting machine. It's actually surprisingly clean considering it's been idle for quite some time. Of course, the sponge bar is definitely dead. There's not much left here except for some foam crumbles and a bit of goo. So you can see some of the accessories here. This machine does have a river bed as well, but I'm starting with the knitting bed first to replace the sponge and the sponge bar, clean the needles, although everything really does seem like it just needs a good brush off. That's the beauty of buying a machine from someone that actually used it. Even though she didn't use it recently, she knew how to use it. Nobody has doused it in oil, making it so that it's that much harder to get, any dust and debris off. So let's just do, okay. You'll see in a minute, I think she mainly used her garter carriage. I don't think she used the regular K carriage that much. So yeah, it is kind of dusty, but that's surface, that's easily dealt with. The cords are all here. So yeah, all the cords are here and in good shape. But you can see like the K carriage and the rubber carriage all need just a good cleaning, which that's fine. I think it'll be kind of fun watching them come up clean. So, and then a rather extensive accessory box that came. I think pretty much everything is here. One of the more pleasant finds is all of these needles for the garter carriage, from what I understand. So a couple more there. From what I understand, they're very hard to find, and so consequently they can be a little pricey. So it's kind of nice to have those. So, and then we have further away. We have one of the garter carriages. This one was on the bed when I brought it home. KR 95. But it was always, like, you can tell from the plastics, she pretty much always kept this covered. It has not been exposed to much sunlight because there's hardly no UV damage. Very little yellowing from the sun. She looked after her stuff. You can tell. I mean, yeah, sure, it's dusty now, but you get older, it's harder to keep up. So, and then this was kind of a nice little bonus. There's this KR93 as well, and its cord and everything is also included with it. Okay, I've cleaned all the needles and got all the dust out of the bed and set up the tilt table that came with the machine, and I have the knitting machine bed on there. I currently have the needles for the ribber soaking in rubbing alcohol, and I've dusted that out, so that won't take too much longer to finish cleaning up, and then I will put that on the machine. There are some adjustments that need to be made when you put your ribber on your main bed, to make sure that your clearances are correct. You have to make sure that your needles line up when they're supposed to line up and don't line up when they're not supposed to. You have to make sure that they're within a certain distance of each other, both beds. So those are all adjustments. It takes a little bit of fine tuning. I will, in the description, share a link to the video that I will be following to do that, but I don't think I will record it while I am, just because it's better to focus on that and make sure I get it correct. So the neat thing about this table is it is a tilt table. So the way you see it now, that's how I would use it if I was using the ribber. I would have it so that, of course, the main bed is tilted back. Now, when I'm not using the ribber and I have it dropped out of the way, this table will tilt down so that my main machine can sit flat, and it's a pretty simple thing to do. You just kind of push these little legs back, and then there you go. Your bed sits flat, which I think I remember reading in the instructions for the garter carriage that it is preferred when you're using the garter carriage that that you have the bed sit flat. So next up, I need to clean some carriages. So I'm going to start with cleaning the K carriage, the main knitting carriage, and cleaning the ribber carriage. And then after that, I will clean at least one of the garter carriages, the KG95. And then, I will also clean the KG93 and put that in some sort of a box so that it stays clean, you know. And there's a lace carriage that comes with this machine as well. It was like when you bought this machine brand new, it was standard, like the lace carriage that it came with it. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. I am going to start with the knit carriage. You can see the, bring it in closer. So you can see the buttons are very hard to push in. Okay, so you start by pulling off that plastic cap, and let's see if I can get closer yet. So right here, when we put it back together, we have to make sure that that faces the front, so that the line for the setting can line up correctly. So we'll take that off. And that. And then we need to take the handle off. So I don't know if it shows, but in there there is a tiny screw. So I'm going to bring the handle up just enough that I can get in there and pull that out. Okay. I'm sure there's a proper name for this, but this is the type of setup that is. So there will be 2 of those. Usually for something like this, I have an ice cube tray that I normally would have on the work table when I'm taking apart anything with quite a few components. It keeps them contained, but it still lets me divide them up by the order that they came out in, or that they were removed from the... Okay. Now, these are the next 2 screws that will need to come out, and that should let me get the plastic case off. And I will just wash that in, you know, some soapy water, like dish soap. It doesn't have to be any sort of a harsh cleaner. It's just dust, not, like, yeah, okay, it's a little bit, the dust is a little bit sticky, but it's not like, you know, she was a smoker or anything, or if she was, she certainly didn't smoke around her machines. Okay, now, okay, we have that. And then that just lifts off. So I have to remember excuse me. I have to remember to have it pointing towards the front. And then that lifts off. I might be using this video to remember how things look to put it back together. Okay, we'll put those there. And then going to turn this around so I can push these buttons off from the back. So I'm just Okay, I think I gotta pause and find some. Okay. Over time, what happens is the grease in the machine starts to solidify, I guess, would be the best way to say it. And it gets sticky. It might even get mixed with dust. And then when that happens, of course, it gets even stickier. The springs will come free once the buttons come off, and the buttons have like a slot that a little blade with a serrated, it's serrated on both sides a little bit, the blade, and it slides into the slot. So what I'm doing is I'm working it off the serrated edge slowly, because I don't want to break the button, you know. Like I said, this machine was kept out of direct sunlight, but it is still 40-year-old plastic, so we'll be kind to it. And if I go slow, then I'm less likely to have to hunt down a spring. Okay, there's one. You can see the serrations, but there's also a little shoulder there. And there's just enough room between the button and that shoulder to squeeze a screwdriver in and pry a little bit. I don't know. I think I made a little bit of a mistake pushing that button in. I really wish I hadn't. But anyway, what's done is done. So see the dust and the lint. Excuse me, I didn't mean to sniffle like that. That was kind of rude. The sneeze is catching up with me. There we go. Just takes a little bit of patience, that's all. Okay, now this one is a double. It has a top and a bottom. I don't know if they'll come off together. Or one at a time. I started with the bottom one because I can't really see a clear spot to pry against on the top one. Okay, so that was the bottom. Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh, that'll work. These buttons are a little odd because you're prying and it doesn't seem like you're getting anywhere, and then all of a sudden you're there. But this one doesn't have the nice things to pry against. Oh, there we go. It started. Okay, so that's the top one. Now, okay, so all the plastics will get washed in detergent, just mild dishwashing detergent and water. And I have to clean all of the old grease off of this, you know, and then we'll re-grease it before we put it together. And yeah, so I will come back when that's done. All right. Well, it took a little bit, but it's, make sure you can see it there. I have all the buttons freed up, and so now I'm just getting ready to reassemble it. Oh. Okay. It's the only thing, well, maybe I don't have the buttons freed up. Now it's caught on the side there. Okay, can still see. Okay, I'm just holding the back, or trying to. I forgot the spring. Did we lose one? That would not be good. I don't see how I could have. Well, that was a little bit of a panic, but it turns out it was just on the plastic cover like that. Whew. These buttons were really gummed up with old grease or oil. It took because there's two buttons here, and if you want to do Fair Isle, you have to be able to do just the top button. So that took quite some time, and you can see there is almost an excessive amount of oil, but that was what broke up the old grease. So you can see I can push just one button there, or I can push both. This one here, so that one comes out freely. Now this one, if you see there, right where my finger is here, so these two pieces, they're kind of stacked underneath of here. So they did, pulling the wrong thing. They were a little harder. That one was actually one of the harder ones to get it to come out. And I must not have the button on this one all the way. No, I don't. If you don't push the button straight in, it wedges in there. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to just pause and go let my dog in, because she's not exactly the patient sort. Okay, and then this piece, let's see if I can get it right without having to look it up again. This goes on that peg there, and then piece goes there. Like I said, you can see it's a little bit more oil than I would generally use, but the old oil and grease from it, just from it sitting, not, you know, this was a very well cared for machine when it was being used regularly. But just from it sitting, it kind of solidifies. It was almost like pine sap. You know, maybe not as sticky, but like for viscosity, it was pretty stiff. Okay, so that's that. So see. So that makes me happy, and I mean, like, appearance wise, you know, clean off that dust and look at it, like, it's just this gorgeous cream color because she was so careful to keep her things out of the sun. There's just no yellowing at all. Like, it's beautiful. This could almost pass for a new machine. Okay. So the knob here, so obviously the center goes on here, but then there's this little peg and it slides in there, and that's how the knob changes your stitch settings. So that all moves the way it's supposed to. Okay. And then, if I did this right, that should go like, oh, something's wrong there. I think it's just not pushed in far enough. Oh, well. Okay. That was kind of a silly mistake. do that again. Put that back. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh, poop. I'm taking it back off because that slide lever doesn't seem quite right. Okay, let's do this one more time. Oh, there it goes. Okay, it doesn't go easy, but it does sometimes go. So why? So that lever slides this piece here, and it doesn't want to go to that farthest position. So I would just as soon figure this out before I put the handle back on. And yes, I know there's already a lot of oil on here, but when in doubt, okay, it is that guy there that's kind of sticking. Okay. Time to look in the manual and see what that does, and if it only does it under certain circumstances. Okay, I figured that out. So position I guess, is in Tarsha, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyways, there's a little button here, and before it will go in position I, you have to depress it. So everything works. I am happy. Happy, happy, happy. Get this on. Okay. That's why it's always best if you go all the way one way or the other before you take that off. But anyway, I did not. Okay. You know, it just doesn't seem right. Suppose I could go back and watch the video, but it seems like it should be face down. Has a dimple around the screw hole. So it's like this is almost like a flange. So the first time I put it on, because of the way I had it sitting on the table, I assumed the dimple faced down so that the side part sits higher. But it wasn't, I don't know, the button wasn't snapping on as tight as I think it should, but yeah, you know what? I must have been right the first time because now it doesn't snap on at all. Okay. I guess I was right. Maybe it just needs a little more oomph. Okay. One carriage down, and 3 to 4 more to go.